Hello everybody. Don't Starve is a harsh, uncompromising survival game about roughing it out in the wilderness, overcoming the elements and everything this cruel world throws at you. From torrential rainstorms to packs of ravenous dogs, every corner of this world, be it forest or islands, is all about reminding you that the only reason you're alive is because it lets you. And you know what? I think these survivors need a break. I think they deserve to escape all the mess and finally settle down and retire. So that's why today we're going to be seeing how long we can survive as just a regular citizen of the Hamlet city. Hamlet! Not the Shakespeare play, but the expansion for single player Don't Starve offers you a whole new world to explore, with an emphasis on exploration as well as survival. But we don't want to deal with any of that. We instead want to indulge in the civilization the expansion adds. Instead of exploring dusty temples with traps and weird looking dogs, we're going to be exploring the streets, getting to know the locals, earning a nice bit of scratch, and seeing about living a nice, cozy, comfy, quiet life. Putting all those weird forest bases behind us as we build our own little shanty shack to see if we can really survive in Don't Starve Together Hamlet as a regular citizen. The rules are simple. Once we spawn in, we head to Swinesbury and stay there, our new hometown. No gathering materials on the way there, and we're only allowed to use the stuff we find there. We are never allowed to leave the town area, but we are allowed into the nearby farmlands and fields, just none of the rainforests or savannas, suburban living only. Other than that, there's no real hard rules. Much like in real life, crime isn't encouraged but possible. I'm not going to aim to break any laws like theft and definitely not murder, but if I accidentally chop a tree I shouldn't have or mine a boulder I didn't know was insured by the government because why would it be, then the run isn't over, I'll just have to live with the consequences of being a criminal. Enough guff though, let's dive on in. And that all starts on day 1. Not autumn, but temperate season. We got new seasons to work with, but this one is your neutral season. Autumn, mild, nothing to worry about except hauling buns to find our new town. I do instantly go against the rules I set up by taking the machete we landed with, since I like to think we brought that with us, but no more looting until we find town. Whilst we look for that though, let me tell you why I picked Wickerbottom as our character today. Now our choice of character was honestly pretty limited since the single player characters lack the intense depth that they do in DST, but I chose Wickerbottom solely for her ability to craft all items one tech level higher than the default. So for example, she can make items needing a science machine without a science machine, and she can make alchemy engine items with a science machine. Resource scarcity is going to be killer early game, so not having to worry about the science machines and then alchemy engines right away will be a huge bonus to us. Sadly though, we won't have a chance to get many books, which is like 80% of the character, but that's okay. Grandma needs to retire, even if it means she doesn't have her books. We're gonna get her a lovely little cottage, oh just you wait. And yes, I know picking Wilbur would have made this quote-unquote challenge absolutely trivial due to the free gifts she gets from townspeople. That would have made it a little bit too easy for my taste, I'm afraid, so Granny it is. Anyway, good thing that took a long time to explain because it wasn't until late dusk we were able to find the town itself. Almost died to darkness before the challenge even begun. I guess I should also mention at this point, I haven't, actually ever played Hamlet legit. Ever? So this is all brand new for me. I know a tiny bit about Hamlet from watching my friends play it, osmosis, and of course, aggressive wiki hunting, but I'm sure it'll be fine for my first run. So, welcome to Swinesbury, one of the 2 cities you can find in Hamlet, and arguably the lesser of the 2. Way better than any city in DST though. We got plenty of buildings housing the population, guard towers, streets lit by gas lamps, civilization. Something seldom seen in this universe. But alas, all these homes are not a single one for me. Yet. I spent the first night scouting town, looking for any notable buildings and seeing what we have to work with. We're going to be spending the next in-game year here, so we're going to be very accustomed to everything eventually. But at the crack of day 2, I got to work. I picked some grass next to this abandoned house, some of the very few grass tough to have access to, as well as picking up some poop. Whenever you pick up some droppings left by the townsfolk, they will come up to you and pay you 1 oink for your troubles. Our very first penny. A big part of surviving here, much like in real life, is about earning money so we can purchase luxuries such as food and shelter. Right now we have nothing to our name except our bare hands, so I headed to the fields outside the town to gather any litter and pick any grass surrounding it. Remember, as part of the rules, we are allowed to explore the town and the fields, as well as the farmlands over here, which we'll look at in a moment. As you can see though, I very quickly wrap up harvesting stuff in the fields, and it's not a lot. Only renewable stuff we're going to find out here are like 5 grass tufts. We're going to have to get really creative if we want to live here for the long run, and our creativity begins by checking out the tool shop. Yes, Hamlet has fully working interiors and shops, and I still think it's the coolest thing Clay have ever done. I'm instantly interested in the razor that's on sale for 3 oinks, since with that, we'll be able to earn way more than 3 oinks in no time. But more on that when we can afford it. Sadly for now, we can't afford anything, so it's back to picking stuff up. I did notice whilst walking around that some pigfolk will ask for different things, and found one that asked for refined materials. So, I spun some of that grass I found to give it to this big fella, and he gave me 2 oinks in return. Now, I had enough to go and buy that razor and instantly put it to work shearing the nearby messy hedges in town. They'll occasionally grow out of control and can be sheared to gain clippings, which can be eaten in a pinch, but better than that, take them to these blonde looking pig ladies for 1 oink each. Most traders in Hamlet will only accept 1 item a day, but the clipping ladies will take as many as you can offer them, getting us a decent 7 oinks in total on our 2nd day. With my coin purse pleasantly filled, I went on down to the local delicatessen and bought myself a pair of pumpkin cookies. That's a phrase I never thought I would say in Don't Starve. Up until now I was feeding off seeds that the birds dropped, so having some actual grub is going to be a lifesaver. We also have a grocery store here we can buy, groceries from, as well as the ability to buy our own house from the town hall. Doing that will cost us 50 oinks, so that's a bit of a long-term goal for us. Dusk is a quieter time around town though. All the pigfolk head inside whilst the guards patrol the streets. The stores are still open though. Due to the lack of common folk, picking up manure won't get you any gold at this time, so I do leave them on the ground until daytime can roll over. I explore the dusky streets some more, scoping out the pharmacist's store, as well as any manure piles to grab when day 3 hits, which is right now. Now our goal is simple, find the best way to make money so we can live a comfortable life. Roof over our head and food on our table. This is getting a bit too real for my liking. Right now our current occupation is homeless guy, walking around town picking up poop, seeing if any of the pigfolk will take our stuff, and feeding ourselves on bird feed. It ain't much, but at least it's honest work. This is earning us a small pittance of money, but if we want to earn the big bucks, we gotta spend some money. I hop on over to the tool shop and buy myself a pickaxe, and then take that pickaxe to smash up some boulders found in the cultivated biome, which is still part of the town, don't worry. In this biome, we can find farms and flower patches. However, they are all sadly under the watch of guards, and will count as a crime if we take anything from them. That doesn't include butterflies though, which is going to be a nice consistent source of food and healing if we need it. Out here we can also find farmer pigs, who will accept grass and twigs for a single coin, giving us another avenue of earning. On top of all of that, we find a little quarry too, with some pigs that will accept rocks for gold. Now, rocks are a finite resource for us in this Hamlet city, so I need to be very careful with how I use them. I decided I'll help the quarry workers by mining some of the boulders for them, but those boulders were apparently insured. Doing this is considered a crime, and the nearby pig guard becomes hostile. Well, there goes our fully crimeless playthrough already. How dare I do work for free? Whenever you commit a crime in Hamlet, only the guard that saw you will be aggressive towards you. They won't spread word of mouth or anything. This basically means we are now blacklisted from visiting the quarry. But I'm sure we'll be back eventually. I wrap up the rest of day 3 by exploring the farmland some more, mining these uninsured boulders and looking at these swashy looking trees, before heading back to town at night to start chopping some birch trees, which in my infinite wisdom is also illegal. Whoops. Yeah, harvesting or breaking anything that you don't own is illegal. Who would have thought? So now we have a pig guard right in the middle of town who is out for our blood. Thankfully, it's only that guard, and the quarry one, who are mad at us. If the whole city watch came after me, I would be doomed. So our new goal was finding a way to pay off my bounty. As much as I would love to be a wanted criminal, I can't risk there being an aggressive guard hanging out in the middle of town who tries to quote unquote arrest me every time I walk past him. So I resorted to my usual penny pinching method of shearing bushes and such until I had 10 oinks. And then I just threw the coins on the ground and the guard took them, turning the other way. Did I just pay off my bounty, or did I bribe a law enforcement member? You decide. That, sadly for us, means we're broke again. And as I find the mineral exchange, we're going to need money if we want to get ourselves some golden nuggets. A thing to note about these stores is that anything in the middle of a display will always be restocked when purchased, but the things on the wall shelves will never be restocked, so making those purchases are finite. This does mean though, thankfully, that gold will be renewable for us, just very slowly with its 10 oinks per piece price tag. But our current method of earning money is so slow, way too slow. The pigs ain't always pooping and the bushes ain't always growing. Unless we want to be living off bird seeds forever, we're going to need to do something about it. For now though, I did go into the cultivated biome again to chop down some of these tea trees. These give you less logs than regular trees, but they also give you twigs, making both logs and twigs renewable for us. Notice the lack of regular saplings we can use for twigs. They also drop these seed pods, which function as a seed, but also a source of food, kinda like birch nuts. And according to Wickerbottom, they function as an antihistamine. I sure wonder if that will come relevant in the future. However, as I was chopping trees, I saw shadows on the ground, circling me. Something was coming for me. Something is hunting me. And that something is this gigantic vampire bat. I had no weapons or armour, so my only choice was to let the nearby guards burn it for me. Seems like instead of hound attacks, we're gonna have to deal with periodic bat attacks. Oh, joyous. Day 5 started with this dastardly looking fella leering nearby, until he decided to start running after me. Please note, as the guards did absolutely nothing. Thankfully, after one strike against a thief, it ran away into the city with all of my earnings safe in my pocket. All 2 of them. So back to work for me, picking hedges and shearing poop. Wait, what? I remembered that some of the pig folk dealt in refined resources, and since we've confirmed logs are renewable, decided to sell a board or 2. Could become a lumberjack. That would be an honest method of earning money. Sadly for us though, our tools are not unbreakable, and the means to get them are still rather costly. For now at least. I made a shovel nonetheless, and chopped some more trees down, all the while making sure to eat butterflies to keep my consistently grumbling tummy as filled as I could make it. Then my axe broke, and then I realised I had no more flint. Flint can be purchased at the local tool shop, but only if it's ever in stock. So my dreams of becoming a lumberjack were dashed as quick as they began. Woody or Maxwell would have been an excellent pick for this challenge. But alas, we have to make do. Eventually you'll see why Wickerbottom was a prime pick, trust me. I wrap up the day by selling rocks to the quarry that hates me, planted some more tea trees, and then day 6 hit us, bringing with it a pleasant downfall of rain. So lumberjack was off the table for us for now. I still made sure to sell any refined materials I could for extra change, but I had to be careful not to sell too much, since I needed it for my own survival too. Grass was easily renewable enough for now, so I didn't feel too bad about selling too much of that. But I didn't want to be a grass farmer or a poop collector my entire life. I want passive income. I want more. I want to start my own trade empire. Fortunately for me, that started when I visited the florist, and saw that she sells berry bushes for 2 oinks apiece. Now berry bushes are fantastic for food alone, but also, around the town, I was finding these little dudes dressed in green, asking for sweet stuff every now and then. Gears started turning in my head. What if I became a berry farmer? I could keep myself fed as well as selling my produce to the rest of the town. Would have plenty of fertilizer to keep my bushes healthy, and they only cost 2 oinks each. So then it was settled. My new goal. My new aspiration. Berry farmer. I could be out there exploring dungeons and finding riches, but nope, it's berry farmer time. I planted them near this vacant lot, since I have a feeling that it will be ours eventually, before penny pinching a little bit more around town. Now the berry bushes do cost 2 oinks each, but each time we buy one, there's only a chance the florist will restock another berry bush. So that means if we wanted more berry bushes, we had to buy pretty much anything else that was on sale for cheap in hope that she would restock a bush. For us, That meant birch nuts and seeds, which would do good for both farming and a bit of food, as well as regular pine cones. We might not become a lumberjack, but having these trees around town would be a little bit nice. Also at this point, I remembered I could make these regular old don't starve farms. Oh how I miss these. We won't be earning any money from these things since none of the townsfolk wants vegetables, and they grow slow as molasses, but a source of food is always nice. Saves the poop from burning a hole in my pocket. That sounds disgusting. I wrap up the day by getting mugged by the thief pig. Turns out if they get a hit off on you, all the coins in your pocket will come flying out. And as is expected, the guards did absolutely nothing to help me as this all went down. Thanks guys. Day 7. With fire in our belly, and nothing else, our goal was to get our little farming empire started. 4 berry bushes is humble, but it isn't enough, both for me and my money earning ventures. Until they start producing fruit though, we're stuck to our usual money earning methods. Picking up poop and selling boards, then turning those coins into restocks at the florist, and hoping we get more berry bushes. Every day I also made sure to check the fields around town to see if the grass tufts had regrown at all. I did have a shovel and could move them, but I totally didn't realise that until a few days later. Whoops. Out of all the location lock challenges I've done so far, this one had to be the most chill out of all of them. I didn't have to worry about light, I had guards everywhere to protect me, in theory, and food, whilst not strictly abundant, wasn't too rare. I was never too far from a deli or any bird seeds on the ground. If I ever needed something, I could see about simply buying it. Selling grass to farmers or clippings to these ladies was this challenge's version of hunting for food or finding firewood. Essentially, this is the real world, except with significantly less anti-homeless architecture. The only bother was the daily mugging I'd get from the local rapscallion, who would exclusively target me by the way, and not any of the other many homeowners around town. I bet he's in on the Queen's pay. Ah well, another day, another penny. Got another bat attack too, but the guards took care of that for me just fine. I suppose the guards are useful for something, I guess. I wrap up the day by buying myself a pitchfork, because of course I did. I had to make my future home look nice, didn't I? It's as important as survival for me. Thankfully, the guards don't care about me lifting up entire patches of cobblestone and relocating them, but I mine a single boulder which was going to get mined anyway, and that's treason apparently. Either way, we have a nice little lawn now. Well, I say we have a nice little lawn, we don't even own this rundown house yet. But soon, don't you worry, because our first batch of berries finally grew in. Now we're talking. We might actually start getting the ball rolling soon. I spent the rest of the night, which was a full moon, relaxing and fending off bandits. Thankfully, the porkers in this town are not affected by the same curse the pigs in Don't Starve Together have, so there's not going to be any were-pigs here. Now, it's day 10. Some of the berries have grown in, and it's time to sell them. I hunt down the green shirt wearing guys, they're called ushers by the way, toss them some berries and see that they pay 3 oinks for each berry. Now that's the best money maker we've seen so far. They may only accept 1 berry each per day, but there's a couple of ushers around here. If we can have a steady supply of berries growing, we're gonna be minted. I spent my first paycheck on some yummy pumpkin cookies. Maybe soon we'll be able to eat quality meals every day. Oh, the Swinesbury dream comes ever closer. Still doesn't mean I'm not going to earn any money I could from collecting poop. We're going to need it for our farms, don't forget. At this point, I'd pretty much explored the entire playable area we had to work with for this challenge, and out of all of the location locks I've ever done, it was by far the biggest and most varied. Unless you count the cave only challenge, okay, I guess. I'd hesitate to even call this a challenge. Everything was going absolutely wonderfully. How many times have I foreshadowed in this video so far, do you wonder? With our pockets full of coinage, another thief tried to rob us and successfully managed to empty my wallet all over the floor. And the local guard just helped himself to most of my money. Gee, thanks guards. I really appreciate that. We lost about 5 coins because of that. Now I'm really starting to think the thieves and the guards are in cahoots with each other. After the second full moon in a row, I forgot Solo Don't Starve does this, it's day 11 out of 10 of temperate season. Don't worry about that. We got more berries and that meant more money. But we also had a little flower sprout out outside our house. This spawned a butterfly which dropped butter right away. What a lovely little treat. Flowers sprouting near our soon-to-be house is great. It means we don't gotta go all the way to the farmland in order to hunt butterflies. On top of the berry selling and poop collecting, we started to amass ourselves a very pretty little fortune. Soon, we'd be able to afford our own little home, a part of Hamlet I am very excited to indulge in. Just need a few more coins and we'll be well on our way to becoming a valued member of the Swinesbury population. I spend the rest of that day mulching butterflies for food and chopping trees. Sadly, since it's never autumn, birch trees will only ever give us one seed. A big shame, but we'll live. Yep, you saw that right. Welcome to humid season. Seasons in Hamlet only last 11 days. As someone who loves playing with shorter seasons, this was a pleasant treat for me. Now that the calm temperate season is over, what do we have to expect for the humid season? Well, as the name would suggest, things are about to get very humid. I absolutely despise humidity in real life, so I wasn't looking all too forward to it. But so far, things seem alright. The colours are a little bit different, but the temperature seems okay. Butterflies are still spawning, despite what the wiki told me, and our berry bushes are growing as fine as ever. Seems calm. Too calm. Let's not worry about that. I did my usual money making method, but threw in a bit of twig selling to the farmers as I went to gather some logs. Until... oh my gosh, the insidious lurker is here! Oh my god. No, this is why humid season is called humid season. Big old choking thick mists surround the entire plateau. It very slowly raises our wetness, and very clearly makes it an absolute pain to see literally anything. Thankfully, we're stuck inside the safest place in the entire game, so the reduced visibility isn't too detrimental. Right? Wrong! Bat attack. And a thief. But like all prior bat attacks and thief attacks, I just get a gathering of guards up north to take care of them for me. It's just like using a herd of beefalo to hunt hounds for you and don't starve together. It's not cheating, it's creative. Anyway, as I left the tool shop after doing some window shopping, I noticed the fog went away and torrential rain took its place. This is also why it's called humid season. It rains a whole lot. So this is essentially the spring and monsoon season of Hamlet. Gotcha. A little rain never hurt anybody, except WX, so I went to clip some bushes and... oh, right. Solo don't starve when it's stupidly dangerous fire spread. Gotcha. But that's one less way of making money for us, sadly, and one brand new fear instilled in my heart. All of my berry bushes catching fire. You can see me quickly checking the recipe for a lightning rod right now. We now have two urgencies to deal with in this season. Not getting absolutely sopping wet and losing our mind, and making sure our entire livelihood doesn't catch fire due to lightning. Roof and a lightning rod. Thankfully the rain stopped during the night before day 13, but we almost froze because of it. We are going to need to get some shelter before that happens again, and fast. And that's not also remarking on our very low sanity. It's no secret, despite me not commenting on it at all in this video, but sanity restoration is going to be very difficult for us. We can't sleep, and most dishes, besides the ones sold for lots of money in the shop, are off the table for us. We could pick flowers, but those are either insured or the only ones we have by our home. I think the best way to restore our sanity would be to own our own house. So with the fog surrounding us again, I head to town hall and buy myself the deed to that rusty old shack that called my preemptive house. And, with pep in my step, excitedly dashed inside to see that this place is a dump. But it's our dump. A roof over our head at last. With a complete disregard for fire safety, I build a fire pit inside the house for warmth, cooking, and carbon monoxide poisoning. Most importantly for us though, a place to dry off. This was just one of the pillars of survival we needed for this playthrough. The other is a lightning rod. Since we can't just mine gold, we're going to have to buy it. With each gold costing 10 coins and how we're going to need 4 gold, we need essentially to earn 4/5 of a house just to ensure we don't lose everything. Oh, joyous day. You also now are seeing why I picked Wickerbottom. Not having to worry about a science machine early on lets us rush to tier 1 level science crafts easily, and makes the tier 2 ones only need the science machine. This will become useful later on, do not worry. But we have a house now, our own slice of home. We can eventually buy furniture and decorations for it, but for now it just gives us a nice place for shelter. We're safe from Charlie in here, and it also regenerates a tiny bit of sanity. What's not to love? However, the thunderstorms are still scaring the absolute heck out of me, so I wasted no time getting back to work to earning money when day 14 arrived. Every second we spent without a lightning rod near our farm, the closer we get to it possibly catching fire and losing our main source of income. But what a source of income it was. Going from 5 oinks to almost 30 in one day thanks to berry bushes is great work. Also, I don't know if the council rebuilt the hedges or if me re-logging made them reappear, but it looks like any fire damage the town sustains will be fixed. I'm very certain, however, that this does not include my farms. I wrap up that day by terraforming the street a little bit before cozying up in my home. Also yes, I am using manure to fuel my fire pit. My house absolutely fails the methane check. Day 15. Started the day with a trip to the grocer's for some breakfast corn and eggplant. Now that I have an actual fire pit, I can cook food. But not fully, I'm gonna need a crock pot for that. Feels so strange saying I will need a crock pot on day 15. At least I plan on making one, unlike a certain other challenge video I did. What I can make now, however, is a science machine. Since we're playing as Wickerbottom, this will function as an alchemy engine for us as I keep repeating, giving us access to golden tools, football helmets and all sorts. Very useful, let me tell you. Just like this extra farm that I made. I haven't mentioned it in the video, but these farms are a kind of decent trickle of food. Not going to keep me fed solely, but I'm not playing as Wartox, am I? Finally ate that eggplant and hit the streets once more. This time to grab the grass tufts found in the fields around town. Nobody owns these, so nobody will mind if I take them for myself. But as I'm doing so, as you probably noticed if you've been looking up in the top right corner, my sanity gets in a very bad state. Not even the guards lighting the thief on fire will calm my mind anymore. We are going to be in danger really soon. As the fog creeps in once more, I find shelter in my house, only to realise that incorporeal shadow creatures can just manifest inside my home, bypassing any of my walls. Don't know why I didn't expect this. But I used my machete to carve them down. The machete doesn't do as much damage as a spear, so it took us forever, but sadly we don't have many other choices due to our very limited resources and therefore weaponry. Even more sad is that due to Wickerbottom's higher sanity pool, killing one shadow creature isn't typically enough to get us out of insanity, so a second one will have to do. But we did it. It's day 16 and we're ready to take on the world. With our sanity in a better spot than yesterday, I head outside to mulch a butterfly for food. And then that happens. You know, the one thing I was terrified of happening since humid season begun. My berry bushes, my livelihood. It is all gone. Turns out lightning can strike just fine when it's foggy. Saying this is a setback is an understatement. It meant our main source of earning money is once again to go around town, picking up pig pats and selling coils of rope. This really took the wind out of my sails. On the bright side, at least the fire didn't spread to the grass plants, or we'd be completely screwed. Getting those berry bushes was annoying the first time around. I was not excited for the second. But did I give up? Oh, did I? Absolutely not. I got back to work. It didn't matter if this set me back so much, if this undid days of work. Giving up now would have let it wasted even more days than it already did. It would take way more than that to stop me from living my quiet life. I did my due diligence, I earned my money, I exchanged it for some gold, and I bought my food. Day in and day out. Chopping trees, selling to farmers, selling to carpenters, you name it. It was slow, it wasn't very lucrative, but at least it was honest. Not like being honest would save you from being struck by lightning and burning all your berry bushes down, but it would let you earn enough money to get the 4 gold required to build a lightning rod. We are now officially safe from all of that nonsense ever happening again. Hooray! The next step is to get our berry bushes back and kickstart our trade empire once more. It would just take so long, all of this honest work. But what if it didn't have to be honest? What if we were to just, I don't know, maybe borrow some of the berry bushes from the surrounding farmland? I mean, the ones I saw weren't owned by any farmer, just under the watch of a single guard, and it's so far away from the rest of the town too. What if I was to just take some? It's not like the guards have been any help to me in the past, doing absolutely nothing when I'm getting mugged and even stealing my money after such event. Maybe it's time we stick it to the man and do a little bit of dishonest living for once. So anyway, on the next day I ran to the guards like a scared little baby to have them hunt the bat attack for me. Thankfully this time around, they attacked them during the day, meaning the guards didn't light them on fire and instead used their actual weapons, saving the bat's loot from being turned into ash. And that loot included monster meat and pigskin? Which we could use to make football helmets like regular pigskin, since up until now, we were taking every blow to our head raw. But no longer, our brain is sufficiently cased, and that means we're ready to start our little incursion into the farmland. As I remember, I find the solitary guard watching over the Queen's bushes, and snag 2 of them for myself. I only had enough shovel durability to take 2 bushes, but I made sure to steal the berries on the other 2 as well. Now on the run from 2 guards, I continue my little crime spree by dashing over to the quarry where I'm still wanted to steal the rest of the rocks that laid there. They can always dig up some more, I bet. With the thrill of being on the run in my veins, I run across this silly looking dung beetle and have it crash into a guard tower for a cheeky bit of loot. Sadly, this is the only time this ever happened, and it was all due to a coincidence thanks to the beetle just randomly roaming into the play space. But it's good to know that through these guys, we can have a renewable access to certain materials, if such freak occurrence ever happens again. Free from the fuzz, I head back to my house, planted the bushes, and waited the night out. Word won't ever spread from those 2 guards, so I pretty much got away scot-free, provided I never go back there again. All I wanted was my quiet life. Day 19. Would be near the end of autumn if this was regular Don't Starve Together, but this is far from regular, as is evidenced by me seeing this weird shadow flying overhead. This wasn't a bat this time, it was way bigger. I'll be honest, I was quite terrified about this. The massive bird-like shadow kept flying overhead as the fog crawled in faster. All the while I sold my legit berries I totally didn't steal to the ushers. I put that honest earned money to good use by buying a single berry bush. However... let's not worry about that, whatever that was. A huge, massive bird just landed on my house and flew away. I have 0 clue what that even was. Thankfully it didn't completely crush our house, but I really hope this isn't a regular thing we're gonna start seeing in Hamlet. All I care about is selling berries and amassing wealth. And the best way to amass wealth is to just buy out the florist until I can get more berry bushes. It's a bit annoying, but it works. Whilst I planted the new berry bushes I bought, I did notice some of the grass tufts did get upheaved by what I can only assume was the huge bird from earlier. Nothing I can't fix though, just praying that never happens again. I wrap up that night by fighting demons in the street with a machete. I really hope the local populace don't think I'm crazy or anything for doing this, that would be awful. But yeah, we made it to day 20. It's almost as if we never had that horrible setback with the berry bushes. All we have to do now is wait until they grow back. Though I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing until then. It's back to my usual job of gardening / sanitation / rope spinning. But after all we went through, I think our house deserves a little bit of prettying up. With some of the coins I earned after a decent day's labour, I buy a kit to make the house look like a lovely Tudor cottage. How lovely. I spend the rest of the money on some more berry bushes and do something I don't think any Don't Starve fan has ever thought about doing. Buy a garland. May as well since it restocks the shop and gets our sanity up very slightly. Not that I can wear it right now, since as you can see, during fog, any equipped items will become too heavy to wear, slowing us down considerably. Oh well, at least we got some more berry bushes in production. At this point I'd consider making some books for the heck of it. And applied horticulture could get our crops a little boost, but with its limited uses and sanity drain, I fought against it. Sadly in Don't Starve single player, there's none of Wickerbottom's cool self-repairing bookcase. All you get instead is horrible fog, followed by miserable rain. A bolt of lightning did try to strike me when I was near the berry bushes, but the lightning rod saved us another heartbreak. Such a good investment that was. If I had lost those berry bushes again, then I think I would have blown up or something. But that will never happen. Back to work being probably one of the only people in town that actually does anything. I went into the shop and bought the last of the flint in the exchange and took an axe to the tea trees. I don't know how I can make actual tea with these trees, but I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me. At the crack of day 22, I made ourselves our very first and only crock pot. We can now cook all of this food into lovely dishes. When we get some food. Keep in mind we can't ever get a fridge either, so that's nice. We're just gonna have to leave all the ingredients on the ground for now. You know, what is essentially my first ever time playing Hamlet somewhat normally, it's really cool. Sure, you could argue this is far from normal, and instead of playing a harsh wilderness survival game, I'm playing a harsh suburban survival game. Now you do enough of that in the real world though. Fighting shadow creatures in my house and being attacked by gigantic bats notwithstanding, of course. Yeah, sanity is becoming an issue for us. That much isn't a secret. So much so that our machete finally breaks against a crawling horror, meaning we're now resorting to fighting monsters with an axe like a true Trailer Wilson. This ain't no way to live in the city, but nothing will stop me from making dinner. So whilst under attack from mind ghosts, I pop on over to the grocer's, pick up some groceries, and head on home to make my very first meatballs of the video. On day 22. We're in the big leagues now. Ignore everything else going on inside the house. Just look at this slightly mouldy purple carpet instead. I kinda like it. There's plenty of options for interior decoration in Hamlet. We're only just getting started. Also, ignore this carpenter outside my house. He just kinda hangs out there for the rest of the run doing absolutely nothing but panicking occasionally. Hang on a minute, did I just move into his house or something? Welcome to Lush Season. So what's so lush about this season? Well, besides an orange overlay reminiscent of summer, not a whole lot. We don't have to worry about the fog or aggressive rainstorms anymore, and despite the orange overlay, the temperature is never going to be hot enough for us to overheat. So what's so bad about Lush Season then? Oh, don't you worry, you'll find out very soon. Very soon. But for now, our berries haven't finished growing yet, so it's back to the same old you-know-what we've been doing for the last 23 days. All the while spending any money we could get on berry bushes. The more these guys can sprout, the more money and food we'll earn. Lucky for us, they start to sprout near the end of day 23, earning us some cheeky change before everyone heads on home. Come tomorrow, the ushers will be fed berries, whether they like it or not. Something that I did way too late into the run was check out the pharmacist. In my testing, this shop only ever sold healing items and anti-venom, but as you can see here, they also sell blooming green caps, a solution for our sanity outside of hunting crawling horrors at last. I buy out all that I can and keep the knowledge for the future that this place is the place to get sanity back. Stock willing, that is. Got my sanity up right before day 24 blessed our very souls, with heavy wind. So is this the gimmick of Lush Season? Just a tiny bit of wind? Is it like hurricane season from Shipwrecked? So many questions, yet little answers for now. With the wind already gone, I do decide to go and visit that berry farm I'm banned from to steal 2 more berries, since I am that desperate for money after wasting... oh come on, it wasn't a waste. Spending my money on that lovely purple carpet. Don't let anyone tell you crime doesn't pay, it pays so well. You know, I always wondered why there's this single skeleton out on the outskirts of the city. The only other human I've seen so far. You guys don't think this was the original owner of my home, do you? No matter, no worries, just money. And some more strong winds. I was a little bit worried some of my trees, or god forbid my berry bushes, were going to get blown away by this wind, but it seems to stop as fast as it can start. With all this cash money, I decided to spend it on my favourite indulgence. Eating the seeds at the florist until I got berry bushes. Which, as you can see here, didn't really pan out that well. 20 coins and only 1 berry bush. At least all those seeds kept me fed, right? Day 25 begun with Wickerbottom sniffling and remarking that it might be hay fever soon. Oh, so that's why there's been wind and why the season is called Lush Season. I absolutely despise hay fever in the real world. So I do hope that it's not as bad in the hit indie game Don't Starve Hamlet made by Clay Entertainment. They wouldn't ever make hay fever the most insufferable thing in the game, would they? But it's too late. It looks like it's already begun. The edges of my screen slowly getting more, I don't know, pollen-y? More and more until... Wickerbottom snows. So that's what hay fever does. Every few seconds, your character will sneeze, draining a little bit of sanity and losing items from your inventory. That is gonna be really annoying really soon, isn't it? Fortunately for me, I remembered that Wickerbottom said the tea tree seed pods were good antihistamines, so I cooked some over the fire and munched on it. Looks like she isn't lying, the hay fever eased up, if only for a short while. Our new hazard was to stay on top of getting seed pods to keep our sinuses clear, so I took a trip to the tea trees to do just that. However, these tea trees in particular are infested with these little squirrels, they're called pikas. Little awful creatures that snatch up any loot that drops from their tree when you cut them down. Brilliant. That is going to make doing this, getting the only way we can ever cure our hay fever, considerably more annoying. Lovely. And our axe broke. Even lovelier. I condensed this dread into theft by stealing the remaining 2 berry bushes at the guard's farm. He ain't gonna need them, he's probably got insurance. But with all our seed pods gone already, we now had to bear the brunt of lush season, sneezing all of the time. I even sneezed inside someone's shop on the way out, dropping a coin, and he locked the door behind me. I think I just got robbed. That was the least of our worries. Every time we sneeze, we're losing 3 sanity and dropping items. Plus, most of the time we sneeze, we do it twice in a row. We were having very bad sanity problems before with the wetness, but now they got literally infinitely worse. I bought the only remaining green cap left at the pharmacist, but that would only delay the inevitable. You think in a town that regularly gets terrible pollen storms, they would stock some good antihistamines in their pharmacist. But nope. Just anti-venom, and that won't do squat for us. We need seed pods. So I did what I like to call a gamer move. I got some oinks by the usual means, and then once I had 20, I bought 2 pieces of gold from the currency exchange. I then planted some pine cones and dug them up with a shovel to get sticks, of which I was missing. Put the gold and the sticks together at the science machine to make a luxury axe. Normally an alchemy engine craft, Wickerbottom's wisdom just saved the day at getting us some tea trees chopped. Amazing! Not before yet another bat attack though. Don't worry about that. The packs... hang on, what's the term for a collective of bats again? A colony or a cauldron? Cool. The colonies of bats may be getting bigger, but not enough for the guards to take care of. After that was all dealt with, I went to the cultivated biome once more to chop up tea trees, being extra sure to grab the seed pods before any pika do. Eating the seed pods raw will prevent hay fever, but not as much as they do when they're cooked. So the more we get and cook, the better. But a full moon hit us as I was chopping the trees, as a pika dropped down and attacked me. This was the first time this ever happened, and it did startle me a little bit. Turns out during a full moon, all pika become aggressive. Thankfully they're not too dangerous, they're just little squirrels, but I don't want to mess with a pack of them. Though saying that, I did chop down a tree with one inside it, and instead of attacking me, the pika ran to the nearest guard and attacked it instead, making the guard drop his bloomin' great big halberd. Nice, a weapon at last, and a meaty one too. Despite this horrible hay fever, things are looking up once more. Maybe those pika ain't so bad, huh? The sight of an old lady brandishing a spear axe as she marches down the street must be a sight to behold. I'd like to see those thieves mess with me now. But the only thing messing with me are my sinuses, and the evil shadow monsters that I hate. Fortunately, we do have a few seed pods to keep us from sneezing, if only for a tiny bit. If I knew this was going to be a problem, I would have made a big tea tree farm way sooner. For now, we'll just have to have a little one up near our house. It's the best we can do on such short notice. The silver lining among all of this is that our berry bushes are now in the production phase, and are constantly going to be granting us a steady income stream. Just gotta make sure I don't sneeze to death. Or perish to the darkness. Which I totally forgot was a thing. All of the street lamps meant I never needed to worry about darkness or even make a torch. So that meant for us, the night of day 27 was spent hunting shadows whilst rubbing up against a pig guard for torchlight. Fun and terrifying. Day 28, welcome. We're sneezing. A lot. So much so that I do the cardinal sin of chopping down not even fully grown trees for the seed pods. I'm that desperate for any form of relief from this sneezing. With how often we're sneezing, even if we do take seed pods, we have very little time to do literally anything else, meaning we're going to be stuck in this infinite loop of wasting time chopping tea trees with the time granted from chopping tea trees. Watching back the recording, I end up pausing the game like 4 times to check the wiki to see if there's any other way of us dealing with hay fever. And don't worry, there are, it's just that none of them are going to be available to us thanks to the challenge. Nice. At least we're rich, right? Money can buy me ugly wallpaper, but it can't buy me allergy medicine. Oh well. May as well decorate the house whilst I'm sneezing my lungs out. Some new fancy pillars here, some absolutely horrific flooring that I end up replacing instantly there, some crawling horror here, a very gaudy little bench by my fire pit. We're now officially playing Animal Crossing Allergies version. Gosh, this has got to be the worst season by far. It's not difficult by any means, it's just quite possibly the most annoying thing ever. I know being locked to the city ain't making it any more tolerable, but I'd rather have literally any other season in the game than this nightmare. Pun not intended as the Terrorbeaks harass me. It's all okay, don't worry about it. Look, a new window to let some light in. And the pollen most likely. Look, we're not starving and we're not dying. By all definitions, we are surviving right now. Might be the worst way ever to survive, but it's not anything I've never handled before. Remember that caves video I did? I was constantly insane during that. And wait, hang on, we failed that challenge, never mind. Disregard. Looks like the big flying bird is overhead again. Now that there's no fog, we can hopefully get a better view on it. And it's absolutely ginormous, oh my goodness. It was gonna eat me then, but thankfully it flew away at the last second. It did crush that thief by stomping it on the way down though, giving me a little loot stash map and his big stupid hat. Really cool. Anyway, time to fight for my life in the streets against multiple shadow creatures, have my halberd break, and suffer in ways I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Welcome to Hamlet, everybody. In between sneezes and nightmare monsters, I checked the map we got from the squashed bandit to see where his stash was hidden. Sadly, it's outside the city's limits and would be against the rules if we were to go and grab it. But come on, you wouldn't care if we went and had a grab at that, would you? Technically, it's from the city. We read the map in the city from a bandit that probably hung out in the city. Oh, go on. We'll go check it out tomorrow. I do check the pharmacist to see if they're selling any more green caps, but no dice. Only coffee beans, which I'll show you why they're amazing very soon. Just gotta get home. Just gotta get home. Excuse me, guards. I really just need to get home. This is, bad. I don't know if I made that clear yet. It doesn't matter if we manage to get rid of a shadow creature. We'll just sneeze 4 times and suddenly it'll manifest right next to us again. I really regret not picking a character with good sanity management for this exact situation. I get so desperate with this sneezing, I destroy my tea tree farm preemptively just to get even but a second of respite from the infernal sneezing, as I'm forced to fight for my life with an axe. I even go to the deli shop, buy some waffles thinking they'll restore my sanity, only for them to do absolutely nothing. Oh, I need a vacation. This was meant to be my vacation, by the way. Let's just eat some roasted coffee beans and go visit that loot stash we found, shall we? And if you've never seen coffee beans before, this is why I bought them. They massively increase your movement speed to levels of absolute absurdity. With this speed boost, I very quickly go and find a loot stash to uncover for us 4 cans of tuna, 10 coins, and 2 jerky. We have no issues with food, and our income is just fine. I kind of regret breaking the rules for this now. Better than nothing, I suppose. I do respect the rules enough to not take anything on the way back, no matter how tempting it was. But I'm back home now, fighting for my life. I had to make another football helmet since it broke fighting Terrorbeaks earlier, but now we're armoured up once more to fight demons inside my own house and home, whilst getting tiny bits of respite from the odd tea tree seed pod. I don't know if I've said it yet, but this is absolutely no way to live. I suppose me saying things were too easy early in the video has finally caught up to me. Cozy suburban living, what a joke. Heaven forbid I suffer from the gigantic hyperallergenic cloud that drifts through the city every year. I'm starting to figure out why the only other human I found in this town is pushing up daisies. I'm not gonna let that be me though. I don't care if I have to spend the last 2 days of lush season chopping tea trees forever. I will not be sneezing any longer. I will fight these squirrels if I need to get my seed pods. I refuse to be a sucker to these allergies. I ain't even gonna bother to plant them. These tea trees take way too long to grow. I just hope that there will be enough until the year's end. With a clear head, for now, I start decorating the house a little bit. Put a little food storage chest next to the crock pot, because we can't afford a fridge, as well as some more furniture all over the place. Lamps, tables, chairs, and an absolutely adorable little hedgehog rug that I would kill for in the real world. You know, if we weren't horribly insane, this would be kinda lovely. It really is like an evil, messed up version of Animal Crossing. Picking fruits to sell them to my neighbours who are anthropomorphic animals to get money to buy a chair. Pretty much just like Animal Crossing if Nintendo weren't cowards. And speaking of making money, yeah, we're getting paid. The berry bushes are all but flourishing, our farms are pumping out food for us to eat, and everything is going just fine. I think once the hay fever goes away, we'll have a comfortable little life ahead of us. And if I look at my watch, it looks like to me that lush season is about to finally hit its well-deserved and final end. What better way to celebrate than buying a backpack? Finally, after 33 days, we have our backpack. We're living the real life now. Who cares about all of this sneezing? Tomorrow, we're not going to have to worry about it. Assuming we can make it tomorrow with these nightmare monsters attacking us, that is. Hello everybody, we made it to year 2. It's temperate season again. Look, I'm still fighting shadow creatures. Look, I also accidentally attack a civilian and get the guards mad at me so I have to pay the final 10 coins. Look, I'm still sneezing. Yeah, so it turns out, hay fever doesn't end when lush season ends. It will actually end 2 days after lush season ends. Clay, why do you do this to me? You couldn't have the horrible hay fever go away right away. You had to make it linger for 2 days? It's all good. Just gotta go to the fields, get some seed pods, be attacked by bats who don't even bother to follow us, and stay on top of my sanity. Besides all of that, life is great for us. A belly full of food and a pocket full of coins. Only complaint that I have is the same one that I've had for the last 10 days. I do another gamer move here by buying a banana and some ice from the grocery store, taking them both home to turn into a banana pop in my crock pot. I don't think that's a gamer move, I think that's just called cooking. I wish I remembered to do this way sooner, since this would have been an excellent and very cheap way to restore my sanity. Oh well, I spent all night sneezing in my house until the clock rolled over, and Wickerbottom delivers the best bit of news I've ever seen so far. Hay fever is officially gone. Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, we have survived an entire, very short year in Hamlet without ever leaving the starting city. Except to get that loot stash, but we don't worry about that, that was fine. We got our own little slice of property, a lovely little garden earning us heaps of cash, and a future to look forward to. From here on out, we could easily have the most luxurious of lives, buying all the food we want and decorating to our heart's content. A little bit of prep would be needed for the next lush season, but that's something we can worry about when the time comes. I have officially answered the question. Yes, you can indeed survive in the city in Hamlet without ever leaving. But I can't help but wonder, am I forgetting something? Only 3 seasons of Hamlet? Nah, I'm sure it's nothing. Wouldn't have forgotten if it was important. But that's the end of this adventure, and by extension this video for today. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. I know it was a long one, but it was a fun one. Where should we go from here? Should we continue and try to survive another year? Or continue playing this world and see about exploring the rest of Hamlet? Maybe I could start a new playthrough and try to complete it properly. After experiencing all the commerce this expansion has, I am very excited to see what else it has for us. Except for more hay fever. But that's for another time. I hope you all had a lovely, amazing day, and thanks again so much for watching. Like and subscribe and do all that nonsense if you ended up enjoying the video so you can see if I ever continue Hamlet again. Bye bye everybody. Thanks again.